We are mere hours away from watching the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Illuminati Takeover of the Sacred Rewatch. My name is Ethan Bronson, and this is where we are rewatching every project in the MCU in chronological order leading up to Avengers Doomsday. Just chatting with the guys. We've been doing this for about 8 months now. It's been going on so long, I got engaged in the process, but that's not the point. So we're watching everything. We're wrapping up our Netflix series. We're on our last show right now, Jessica Jones Season 3. You may think, why do I need to watch Jessica Jones Season 3? I don't know. Come join us on the ride. You don't got to go watch it. Just come here, watch it, get it done with. An hour watching us, much better than watching 13 hours of Season 3 of Jessica Jones. Or maybe not. We'll see. So make sure to subscribe, all that stuff. But we're going to talk about Doomsday trailer. It's here, guys. We are so close to getting our first true peek of Avengers Doomsday.
Good morning.
Today I am joined by Wyatt. Good morning. Good morning indeed. And our resident philosopher, as always, Brody.
Hello, everyone.
All right, guys. I've got nothing set up. I saw on Twitter that we're very close to watching the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Obviously, the original thought was that it's going to play in front of the Avatar Fire and Ash movie, which also super excited about, but we're not here to talk about that. But there was a rumor today that because the Supergirl trailer is going to be coming out tomorrow, Marvel moved things around. They said, no, don't forget about us. So I don't know if this is necessarily true. We're going to talk about that, though. Brody, what are your thoughts about it coming out a little bit early? What are your expectations for the teaser trailer? Like, it's very important to say teaser trailer. It's probably going to be 60 seconds.
I think right now the climate's kind of good for a trailer. I think it's a decent amount of time before people are having like Christmas get-togethers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll definitely be a topic of conversation for people catching up with each other. They probably went and saw like the old Marvel movies together. And I think that just like the climate's pretty good. Like Disney's had some stuff throughout the year. And the last trailer that they dropped that didn't go so well was, I would say, Mandalorian and Grogu. I think that trailer just really underperformed just to what they were expecting for the first Star Wars movie in that amount of time.
Yeah.
So, but they had dropped it like right after some drama and some firings. And it kind of just felt like a safety maneuver just to be like, oh, hey, let's get distracted with this content thing. Where this feels more like an orchestrated, like, we're ready to do this. Yeah. This feels more purposeful. Even though I don't think it's really going to be as much as people are saying it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think it's a very calculated decision. I think they always wanted to release it with the Avatar movie. You know, maybe, and we'll have a little conversation about Avatar Fire and Ash. I think they're a little concerned about its box office performance. You know, they've got some high expectations to hit. And so having this conversation about Doomsday trailer or teaser trailer being before the movie, you know, you're getting a couple extra people to go buy their ticket to go watch the trailer, because I think there are some Marvel fans out there that will go do that just for that.
Many.
I'm not going to say it's a very big group.
What were you saying? There's a decent amount. From the amount of people I've seen talk about it, I think there's going to be a decent amount. And because there's not a lot of like theater competition right now. There's like Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So I think that people will have this be their Christmas movie just because there's not really anything else right now.
Yeah.
Like even if they don't love the Avatar like stuff, just to go out and watch a movie, I think that it's going to be Avatar. But I think the Marvel fans are pretty locked in on going to this.
And it's really interesting to see almost this rivalry play out between Marvel Studios and DC. The last thing that we kind of heard about James Gunn's relationship with Kevin Feige was that they were still buddy-buddy, and it was, strictly a business decision. But if this really does happen where they play the trailer tomorrow on the same day as Supergirl, which I think a lot of people are anticipating, you know, maybe they're not as good as friends as they want to say, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, but
Yeah.
it seems a little intentional, you know.
It could kick off some bad blood between the two. No, not
But
directly between the two, obviously, but I think between the companies. I think a lot of people have talked about how it's good to have like competition, and we need that to keep like good superhero movies around as we need other companies. That's what a lot of people are talking about with that Warner Brothers like purchase thing going on.
mhm,
You know what I mean? As people are saying,
yeah,
well, we need there to be good competition so we get good movies. So I think this is just part of that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like sometimes trailer the same day, and I think it's only going to benefit both. I think more people are going to watch both because they're going to be like, well, how does this one compare to that one? So I
mhm.
think really it's a win-win for both of them.
Well, and I think, and after I say this thought, why I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. I think what's super interesting about them deciding to potentially drop it tomorrow, right? DC's, you know, history of movies, not that great, but because they've kind of started clean slate, there's a lot of optimism about DC, where, you know, you really look at the last 5 years of Marvel, you know, a lot of people, it was Kevin Feige calling it right now. A lot of people would say the last 5 years of Marvel Studios hasn't been up to the same standard as it was, you know, 2015 to 2019. So I think they're trying to make the best PR and marketing decision so that people will get excited, because that's really what they did with pushing back this movie. I mean, just did the math. We're right now. We are 371 days away from Avengers Doomsday. So
It's got to
they're
give room to
really going to go all out on this year-long marketing push, because we have one other movie, Marvel movie, but it's not directly produced by Marvel Studios. So you really only have one movie in that time frame to build up an immense amount of hype. I mean, really what they're trying to do, and I think they have to, in order to really call it a success, is it needs to be the highest grossing film of all time. I think that's really what it comes down to.
completely.
Wyatt, what are your thoughts about this potential release date of tomorrow, or it being before Avatar Fire and Ash?
Why do we as a community think it's tomorrow? Like, what happened today that gave us that inquiry?
That would be the social media platform X. There's a lot of talk about it today.
Along with
because
Supergirl
of, and I think it originally started because of the Supergirl trailer that DC is dropping tomorrow, because they are
Gotcha.
about 6 months or 7 months away. Sorry, that's a terrible number to drop out there.
We're still hip, guys. We're sticking with it.
We are.
But yeah,
So
but I mean, I don't know what there's not a rumor for.
I
right
think it's
now
a pretty
in
good
terms of
time to
trailers.
drop it.
Like people are saying they're going to Avatar for everything.
Okay. So what are you guys expecting to be in this trailer? I know, Brody, you talked about the Infinity War trailer before we got on. What did you see from that you think, you know, they may replicate, that they may not to replicate? Because, you know, same director, same kind of idea. The Infinity War was really the first massive project, I would say, for the Russo brothers. You could argue that Civil War was on the same level, but at the same time, you know, you're talking about culmination at that point of what? 10 years? 10 years. It was 10 years of Marvel Studios when it came out. So do you think they're going to kind of go down the same realm? And talk about what you saw from the Infinity War trailer, or teaser, mind you.
You got this what?
Oh, I was talking to you, Brody.
Oh,
I thought we were just leaving it open.
Yeah, he said.
No, I thought I was asking you, Brody.
Okay.
Whoa,
okay.
let me give my opinion
Sorry.
before. Well, so
yeah, go for it.
the Infinity War trailer is just what Brody described, a montage of moments and all that. I don't feel as if, you know, there is absolutely no emotional connection at all to what's happened post Endgame, the same way you had that emotional connection pre Endgame. You know, pre Endgame, you see these montages of all these moments, and you're like, wow, all of this is leading to this. You know, post Endgame, we don't really have a montage of moments people actually really care about, you know?
Yeah. I mean, So from the aspect, and how much you guys have been following this Doomsday rumor mill. I've been following it closely, but at the same time trying to guard myself a little bit. I do want to be surprised going into the theater a year from now. But there's a lot of talk out there saying that, the Russo brothers are going to play off the movies that have happened and the TV shows that have happened in the last 5 years. But it's almost just going to be a sequel of Endgame, which I do like and don't like at the same time. They're having the Avengers Endgame re-release coming out in September, which I also think is a very interesting move.
Mhm.
What are you guys' thoughts on, them almost abandoning, a lot of the very confusing stories that have played out over the last 5 years?
I think this is an easy fix. Like, it's so easy to ignore storylines. I mean, like, like I understand we don't want them ignored, but whatever direction the story's going in, it's going to be so easy to just pick up from wherever. Like, there was a lot of stuff going into Infinity War where I thought there's no way that this is going to go together and make sense. Like, when you think about when Infinity War came out, like how separate so much stuff was. Thor was in space. You know what I mean? Hulk was still in space. Like, all this stuff was so separate. Guardians of the Galaxy were doing who knows what because we were going to have a major time jump from Guardians 2 to when we were going to see them. You know what I mean? So there's so much stuff like that going into it where you're like, it's not going to work. And then when you actually come down to the movie, it's like, oh, the Guardians are just flying a ship and Rubber Band Man's playing. Like, a lot of this stuff ends up being less complicated than you think it's going to be. But if it comes down to being another montage, I think they really got to show everyone. You know what I mean? Like, just to generate the hype and get people to feel like, oh yeah, they got to watch this, and get people to watch shows that they missed out on or things like that. Even though they might not be the best look for Marvel, I think they need to be like, hey, if you watch this, we're going to be including this character for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Miss Marvel fans, things like that. I think they really have to show these newer characters, even though they're not generally the most liked people or characters, you know what I mean? I think they do have to kind of mix it in and then just cut around. Like, don't show the footage of the stuff that people don't really like. Like, just like it is, and it's going to be short scenes too. And I also think that we're definitely going to see some Tom Holland focus to get people to go to Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. And I think what's really interesting about this potential montage that could happen, I really want to look at it from this perspective of, you look at the last 5 years. The 3 biggest movies, I would argue, were Spider-Man, No Way Home, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Those 3 storylines, as of right now, really do not have a very direct way of tying back into the MCU. Peter Parker, nobody knows who that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. We lost Chadwick Boseman, so I think even though Shuri took over the title, I think a lot of people still expect either T'Challa's son to take over. And then the Guardians, as we knew it, don't exist. There's a brand new group, so people do not connect with them. We really only saw that group together for about 5 minutes. And then you look at the 3, most popular TV shows that we've seen in this time frame on Disney+. Loki, which has the most direct tie-in, but it was more of a tie-in to Kang, so that there's a question mark there. You got Moon Knight. Moon Knight has been lost for a while now. And you have WandaVision.
Oscar Isaac's pretty much on the outs with Disney anyways, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what's going around.
After he filmed, if he did film, though. Yeah. He said that. Because that was just because of the firings and stuff. So it could have been filmed before that, but I don't know.
And then with WandaVision, Wanda is dead. She's dead, kind of. Vision, kind of dead. We haven't seen him. So those 6 arguably biggest projects. I left Deadpool and Wolverine out of it. We've talked about it before. There's still no real tie-in to the MCU yet. We haven't seen it, what that is. So it just raises more questions. I don't think we're gonna see really anything of substance of anything from this movie. I highly doubt we will see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. Um, I think the closest thing we will get is a Fantastic Four type reveal where we just see a cape again. You know, we may see the mask.
Do you think we'll get a voice? Or do you
No.
think they'll save that for the actual trailer and do
I
like
think they get a
they'll-
voice.
voiceover?
You think?
I mean, we already know the actor.
I think the voice is the most.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
it be
mean-
funny if he just sounded like Tony Stark? He just sounds exactly word for word, bar for bar.
I mean, I think they need something to create buzz other than just rehashing stuff that has happened. Because I mean, as dumb as this may sound, it is important that they get this teaser trailer right. Because if they don't get it right, people are not going to care to pay attention when the full trailer comes out. Which there's a lot of speculation that's going to happen during the Super Bowl, right? I mean, people are obviously going to be watching the Super Bowl, not for Marvel. Some people will be that don't care about sports, you know. But a lot of people watch the Super Bowl for football, and that's where primetime commercial time happens. But I do think it's important to create some type of buzz, something new, see characters that we haven't seen in a while or ever. Maybe it's a setup for the teams that have been talked about. How, you know, there's going to be an X-Men team who we haven't really seen all together in 20 years. A Fantastic Four team that's just been completed. The Avengers team, we're not really sure who completes that. You have the new Avengers or Thunderbolts group. You've got the Wakandans, who we've seen a little bit of, and Doom's team, which is kind of like a mix-up of misfits, really.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing that we may see. Maybe we see a bunch of title cards of like these different teams kind of setting up this one-on-one matchup that's going to be happening, or they play it on this Avengers Doomsday is really going to be Avengers versus X-Men movie, which I think will probably be the majority of the movie.
The other thing that makes me think, I think we'll get one like fight scene with them. I think that their meeting scene is going to be a fight scene similar to that of what we got with the Guardians of the Galaxy, quickly fighting our space group from Infinity War. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be similar to that. But the other thing that makes me think that like maybe this isn't going to be just old footage is there's been so many leaks about the costumes. Like, I'm not talking like the fake photos, but just at like conventions. They've had like 2D drawings of the characters with their costumes. So if they're fine with showing off what the characters' costumes are going to be, I think we might just get slow motion shots of each character. Obviously, characters in the background will be like just removed in post. Classic Marvel. You know what I mean? There's going to be some blank spots in any footage that's released from this movie where people are going to be like, there's probably a character there. There's probably a character there. A lizard there. Like how it was with No Way Home.
Yeah.
But I think if they're fine with showing the costumes, we could just get some cool slow motion shots. Well, you remember that? That whole thing of like Spider-Man's jumping and then his neck just goes and there's nothing there to hit him. That was a huge Marvel thing for that to be in a trailer.
Well, and I think what's also very possible is that even in this teaser trailer and probably the first full trailer, I'm going to go in it thinking we're never going to see these scenes that are played out on the screen. They're all, different type of fake outs because did you guys see that report of, that video that got leaked several months ago of the guy walking through the shooting where they were doing, they were shooting the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when the guy poured himself a cup of coffee?
I heard about that.
Did you hear that it was fake? They set somebody up.
It's got to be. There's no leak unless it's from Tom Holland's mouth. There is no way that I believe that there is a real leak coming out of these movies. Like
I think this has been locked down more than we have ever seen before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just they know how to do it now. They know
I agree.
how to fire people. You know what I mean? I think actors are pretty much as far as it goes in terms of leaks. I think outside of that, they have everything on lock. Like, I don't think stuff gets out.
Yeah.
Unless it's on purpose, which I think is fine because it just builds, you know what I mean? But there's been so much like fake leaks and stuff. So many right now.
Mhm.
Like, it's actually crazy how many photos I have to like look at for the news thing that we do. And like there were so many just AI set leaks. Like
Well, and
especially in the
that's
past
what's
month.
pretty incredible is a lot of like these Marvel analysts. It's quite absurd to me how many are using AI for these thumbnails. I mean,
Yeah.
you can look 75% of these AI analysts or these Marvel analysts are using AI thumbnails to draw people in, which I'm kind of upset about because like these are the same people that will go on air getting people on to watch this thumbnail that was driven or watch this video driven by an AI thumbnail, and they'll talk about, well, I sure hope they don't use AI in the script or AI when they're shooting it. Like,
Right.
you got to stand by the same standards that you're wanting to fight for.
Exactly. And if you guys want to hear more about this, there's a video coming out soon about how AI is changing the MCU forever. So stay tuned for that. That may
Yeah.
include me. And it's written by me. It's not going to be written by AI. I should clarify that.
And no AI thumbnail, right? Right?
No AI thumbnail. Those are
what I like to hear.
handcrafted with love.
That's what I like to hear. Wyatt, what are your aspirations? Don't get into speculation of what you think it's going to be. What do you hope is going to be in this teaser trailer?
What do I hope is going to be in this trailer? I hope we see a lot of montage moments, but not so much for the MCU, but for Fox properties. You know, we see some clips from the old X-Men movies, similar to what we would see for, you know, a traditional MCU teaser trailer. But instead of MCU movies, it's more X-Men stuff, because now we're dealing with those. I think it's completely unlikely to really see anything of any actual new stuff at all. But if we did, be cool to see or hear Doom's voice at all.
Uh-huh.
I don't really want to see too much. I don't really want to see any actual like scenes of real content. I kind of want as much for the real movie as possible, or the actual trailer.
Yeah. Do you think Robert Downey Jr., not only in this potential teaser trailer, but in the movie itself, do you think when he's playing Doom, he's going to try to have a different inflection in his voice, or he's going to try to remove himself a little bit from this typical Iron Man persona that you can, so very clearly hear just in his normal voice? When he goes in interviews, you think that guy's Tony Stark,
Yeah.
I think for a majority of the movie, he's going to have the Doom mask on, and he's going to sound like talking through a mask. I don't think he's going to really look like Robert Downey Jr. or sound like Robert Downey Jr. for much of the movie at all.
Yeah, I think the mask is going to do a lot of not the heavy work. He's an amazing actor, but I think they're going to really use that to make it sound different than Thanos. Who Thanos they were trying to humanize more and more.
Yeah.
And I think with someone who has like a fully metal mask, they're going to try to emphasize that with a little more gravitas, you know what I mean? A little more something to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about in this teaser trailer. There's a lot to be excited about in the MCU, even though we're not getting much content, which is okay. I think this is going to be a great cold turkey experience. That's what I'm going to describe it as. It's good cold turkey experience to remove ourselves from this constant overload, at least from the general public. To us, we're not having a cold turkey experience. We're diving in harder than we ever have before. But I think there's a lot to be excited for, and I'm really looking forward to this trailer dropping tomorrow or on the 17th with Avatar: Fire and Ash. Do you guys have any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I think that's it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a final this or that, and we'll just see who's right. I can't think of what would be a good question.
Well, I think we can get on another episode. I'm sure we're going to be creating a lot more conversation as we are about to hit the 1 year mark. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Illuminati Takeover of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving all over the timeline with us. New recap episodes are coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday. I think they got the Sacred Rewatch Daredevil Season 3 premiering right now on YouTube, so make sure you go check that out. But wherever you are in the multiverse, thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey for all time, always. See you guys.